Hello, Warrior TV. Steve Knapp, the Mindset Warrior here, back with our latest episode of the Hour of Mindfulness. Tonight, we've got a superstar special guest, the Warrior Queen herself, the amazing Kerry Duval, and we're carrying on yesterday's 30th birthday celebrations, so we're going to bring that back into tonight as well, because a birthday should never be a day. We've got to make it at least a week. So we're going to celebrate all things Kerry. We're going to touch on a bit of bullying, and we'll see wherever else this takes us. I'll see you all soon. Kerry, welcome aboard. Massive happy birthday.
Good morning.
Celebrating this. How's it feel entering a new decade into the 30s?
Well, my neck cracked for the first time yesterday morning and it hurt. So I think that's a sign that my body's starting to get old. That's it. Midlife crisis.
It's a sad state of affairs. It happens to all of us. Wait till 40, then everything just starts falling apart. It's no good.
No. By the time I'm 40, I'll have an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old, so I'll be able to go to the pub and they compare.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's the dream. I didn't get that luxury when mine were old enough to shout me, but you never know. Hang on to the hope. It could happen.
I've told them the day I turn 40, they're taking me to the pub and they're paying.
Perfect. That's how it should be. There should be laws in place. We've spent all their childhoods looking after them and covering all the costs. It's their turn to pay back on our birthdays, I reckon.
Yep. Well, they reckon it takes £250,000 to raise a child from when they're born to when they're 18. So I reckon they're going to owe me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy dollars raising kids these days. It's ridiculous.
Oh, tell me about it. Xboxes, Nintendo Switches, the latest games.
Yeah, all the junk they need for school. That's all useless stuff. That's crazy.
Tell me about it. Lucas is going into GCSE physics, and obviously getting him the books that go with it. They aren't cheap. It's a tenner for one book.
It's crazy, isn't it?
£10. It's like, what?
Yeah. And that actually sounds pretty reasonable. A lot of our books for stuff like that over here are like anywhere from $50 to $80 for that one textbook. It's like, wow, this is insane.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, there's another one that he wants, and that's £20. So I suppose the £10 isn't that bad. It's the £20 one that's probably going to be like, don't lose it, don't even rip it, don't even look at it.
That's it. And it's all about, if it's for their knowledge, it's not a bad expense. If they're going to learn from it, that's great.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's going to learn from it and he's going to make me loads of money in the process. So that's always the way. Lillian's jumped on and said hello to both of us. Great to see you, Lillian. Hiya, Lillian.
So how did our Mr. Mental Health Warrior go yesterday? Did he spoil you? Was he on his best behaviour?
It did spoil me. He took me out of the weekend and basically said, right, you can have whatever you wanted. Fine. So I got whatever I wanted, including this hoodie. I love my hoodies, especially in winter. And obviously I got everything I wanted. And yesterday, it did annoy me though, because we were supposed to order a takeaway. We didn't. And I ended up having to cook because he was sat on his bum upstairs. So he wasn't on his best behaviour all day.
Adam. I'm trying to teach him. I'm trying to get him over the line for you daily. And he just doesn't want to follow suit. He's a worry, the man. No. The amount of people that have said to him, Adam, what you need to do is go, yes, darling, and no problems. It's just what I will go through into his head, not to argue with me. One day. Yeah, one day maybe. He's still young. He's got a lot of time to learn. Oh, and Sandy's jumped on. Hi, Sandy. Thanks so much. And a big happy birthday, Kerry.
Thank you. And now Adam's saying no, darling. It's supposed to be yes, darling.
Back in the doghouse for you, old son. He's a worry. So I thought, Kerry, after carrying on from last night with Tessa and I thought for anti-bullying week, I reckon we could keep the discussion rolling. You guys had it on Coffee Morning Monday. We had it last night. I think we may as well keep this whole topic going for the whole week because I reckon it's a really important, crucial subject that you can never have too many discussions around, and there's so little understanding and so many facets around bullying that you can never pinpoint it and direct it towards just one type of individual, one personality trait. There's no one reason. I know I touched on a little bit last night that I've experienced both sides of the fence. I've been on the end of bullying. I'm certain as a young bloke I shared plenty of that out myself as well. You know, I think an important thing to understand with bullies is like you don't know what you don't know. So until you're made aware of what you're doing to people, you can carry along your own way without even really understanding that you are causing pain to other people.
Yeah. I've not been a bully myself. I've always been on the receiving end of it. All throughout primary school and high school. And then obviously going into the bit of college that I did do. We had a little bit of it, but then I got into sort of like a large group, and the bullying stopped because I was in that large group and I had plenty of people around me that was making me laugh, and we had fun that time. So that was a bit of a good thing. Obviously there was always like a little bit of drama, a little bit of banter in the group, but that's about it. I wouldn't call it bullying, because we were always laughing and having banter between each other. There's a difference between banter and bullying.
Oh, big time. Big time. Yeah. That part of still having a laugh together and not getting over precious. I think it's just having that understanding of what will hurt someone else and appreciating their beliefs, values, upbringing, and sort of having a bit of self-control or education around what you need to know depending on the group and situation you're in. And and I think I said last night as well that like sometimes an apology is the easiest thing, because if you don't know what you're saying is offending someone, as soon as you find out, the best thing is to get on the front foot and say, I am totally unreservedly apologetic. I didn't understand that was going to cause offence.
But I come across a video yesterday. They were basically getting the kids to say all these nasty things to this piece of paper. And every time they said something nasty, she'd scrunch it up in her hand. So once it was a scrunched up ball in her hands, they said, right, now say sorry to it. And she opened it up and said, is that piece of paper fixed now? No, it's not. This is why we don't bully. And I thought it was a really powerful video, and I should have shared it really. I might find it very soon, actually.
And I totally agree with that sentiment if you're aware that you're bullying in the first place. If you're intentionally going out to hurt someone and you're name calling, clearly you know you're doing it intentionally. But if you're coming from a space of like you say something flippant that can be culturally offensive and you don't understand the culture, more along those sides of things, I think is where the education comes in. There's bullies out there who intentionally bully for the sake of hurting people, which are the most abhorrent kind. Although I'd delve into that a bit later too, that it's not. I also believe it's not always their fault. We're not our behaviours, and we don't always construe things the way we'd like to. But it's there are definitely people out there who make an absolute killing out of seeing people suffer, and it's horrible to watch.
Yeah, they get some sort of self-gratification from seeing somebody upset or crying because of the result of what they've said or done to them. And, they get some sort of buzz inside themselves. It's like, you're not big, you're not clever. That's not nice to put somebody down. I mean, if that's what you have to do in order to feel good yourself, see somebody else cry, you're just not a very nice person. you know. And once you get out of school and you start going into college, the whole existence between people, it does change. Because I noticed that when I went from high school into college, the relationships between all the students changed, because we're all in our adulthood now. We're just starting adulthood. And even the relationship between you and your tutors, they changed. It's sort of, right, you're not in high school now. I'm not Mr. whatever name. To call me by my first name, whatever it was. You know, and it was down to earth, chilled. It was like, if you're going to have your phones out, make sure it's on silent. Don't be inconsiderate to the lesson, blah, blah, blah. And he treated us like young adults. And that was really, really good. You know?
I love that.
Yeah. So
it gives you a sense of responsibility and ownership, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You know, and that's why I liked college, because obviously the tutor was down to earth. We had 3 tutors and all 3 of them were down to earth. They said, look, if you need a drink, get one. If you want to have a coffee on the side, have a coffee on the side. Just don't spill it on your workbooks. Blah, blah, blah. You know? If you need to go to the toilet, don't ask. Just go.
Yeah, yeah. Don't dilly-dally. Get back as quick as you can, but on your way.
Yeah.
And I just want to touch on one comment quickly, Kerry. Sandy said, I was like a volcano. Yes, sorry for yesterday. Sandy, do not apologise at all. That was we appreciate you being so open and honest and sharing where you're at. And, yeah, just know that anytime you share like that here, it's a totally safe space. You never have to apologise. We're here to support you and help you in any way we can. So, yeah, 100%, no needs for apologies at all.
And if you want to chat to anybody, any of the Warriors, just reach out, give us a message. We'll talk to you. And when you get ready, when you are eventually ready, come and share your story on here.
Definitely be more than happy with that.
Yeah,
and Lily,
when she's ready.
Yeah. And Lily said that bullies are usually acting out of poor self-esteem and image themselves. Yeah. And I agree with that 100%. It's a lot of the time you're projecting your own insecurities onto someone else. It can just be a coping mechanism at times for people to unleash that side of themselves onto someone as a self-preserving tool. And it certainly doesn't justify it, but yeah, I think having a bit of understanding around all the different reasons for these actions is handy to have a chat about as well.
Yeah, it seems to be might be a little bit of a stereotypical here, but in high school it was generally the nicer looking girls. They grouped together and sort of bullied the ones that weren't good looking. And I'm not good looking. I don't care, you know. And it's sort of like they'll sort of group together and bully the other girls and sort of make themselves feel like they're on the top of the pile. And it's like, no, you're really not. And to be honest, all those girls now that bullied me in high school, bullied quite a few of us girls in high school, they're all on their own with 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, and it's like, that's just karma, because now your kids are going to bully you.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, and I think that's been the way through high school for generation upon generation. It's probably not stopping, but when you're only relying on external beauty and you're horrible internally, and that's the way you act out, then it's not going to end for a pretty life going forward, because looks fade. I mean, look at me. I was like Brad Pitt only 10 years ago, and I got older, and now I'm balding and putting on weight. Like, you just can't hang on to your looks forever. It's horrendous, and it's just totally not fair.
No, Adam was tall, dark hair, hood up. You know, he had his hood up, so he was mysterious, and he was running around, loads of energy. You know, and that was at the start of a relationship, and obviously he was playing football at the start of a relationship. Now, he wouldn't run. He wouldn't be able to run. But I still love him. Because obviously I didn't fall in love with his looks. I fell in love with the fact that he had a brilliant personality. Underneath that hood, he was mysterious on the outside, but inside, you know, he's funny, he's romantic, he could make me laugh, he could make a group laugh, and he was brilliant, you know. And he's been so supportive of me over the years. He's my soulmate and my best friend.
Oh, I see. Beautiful. You can make these connections at any point in life too. That's the magical thing. Like, I suppose one message I'd like to send to people that have been bullied, especially if it's been over a long period of time, is that there's nothing to suggest that it's going to stay that way. You are going to find, like, no matter what you do, you've got to find your tribe, and you've got to find the people that you sit comfortably with and you get on great with and love you for who you are. Because no matter who you are, they're out there.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of, like, just looking elsewhere and just going, okay, these people don't seem to resonate with me. I don't resonate with them. Let's move on, because there's something for everybody, no matter how outlandishly crazy, odd things you like. You will be able to find a heap of people that absolutely love those same crazy, outlandish things as well. Yeah. So don't feel pigeonholed into, like, well, you know, I've known these people my whole life, I have to just accept that behaviour, because none of us have to accept anything. And getting those strong boundaries in place is so crucial. And I think that was a big step for me which it's sad to say, like, I probably did more of my bullying post being bullied. So I guess that came from a bit of a learned behaviour and a bit of a defence mechanism that I learned early days. Taking out the head bully makes you pretty powerful and respected all of a sudden. And then anyone that challenged that authority, I felt the need to have to keep beating down and beating down and beating down to keep that top dog status. And, yeah, certainly not proud of it. But all the work I've done in my later years as an adult has shown me a lot of where that came from and those patterns and the behaviours that were associated with it. And it probably took me till my late teens, I'd say, like latter years of high school, to probably have eradicated those behaviours and got an understanding about what that was doing to people and how harmful it could be. Not that I think a lot of people wouldn't really understand in the moment. You tend to find these things out later. Like, I had a few people message me down the track, like on Facebook, like, that I hadn't seen for 20 years, going, oh, I remember you used to call me this. And I'm like, I am so sorry. Number one, I am massively sorry for what I said to you. And I didn't say this to him, but in my mind I'm going, I'm even more sorry that I don't even remember who you are. So I went to the effort of picking on someone and 20 years later would not have a clue who that person is that's reaching out to me. So I'm like, that's pretty horrendous that you could pick on someone but not even remember them 20 years later. I thought that's just crazy. Luckily I was a changed man by then. Very changed man.
Yeah. Yeah. You sort of find that when you come out of high school, that you move into college or work, whatever you choose, and you can mix with a whole different bunch of people. And that bunch of people have been through different high schools, and obviously have different experiences, different personalities, and you all mingle in one place because you're all going towards the same target, and you're all sort of like-minded in that way, at least. And you sort of connect to that. Right, okay, so we've both chosen this course, so we both must like something to do with this course and why we chose this course. And you sort of find out the reasons why, and you start merging new friendships. And those friendships go forward. And then obviously when you come out of college, you go into work and you make new friends. And I have to say, right now, from the friends I spoke to in school, I now only speak to one person that I went to school with. No, two people that I went to school with. Everybody else, I don't speak to them. I've moved on, new friends, new circle of people around me, and I don't get bullied now. So brilliant. I've gone from being the victim of bullying and hating my life and hating waking up in the mornings to I love my life now and I love the circle of friends around me.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. The circle of influence is real and it is so profoundly important. If you're around the right people, you can't be bullied.
Exactly.
Because they're there for the right reasons, and you're there for the right reasons. And Sandy's just said, can't imagine me being a bully. I'm sorry to have shattered your illusion, Sandy, but I was. Ashamedly, I was. Not horrendous. Like, I certainly wasn't someone that would pick a target and just go at them day after day after day after day. Any bullying I did was generally, a one-off, normally physical. It's kind of the area I grew up in. It was, the way things were done. Something I'm certainly not proud of. But I think what you learn from these things is what shapes you as a man or a woman. Maybe I wouldn't be in this space I am now if I hadn't have been that person. I think we can find some sort of potential in all these things. I might not have had the compassion and the empathy and the love to work with helping people in this space if I hadn't come from that space previously. Don't know, just hypothesizing. But, I just don't – it could have been in some way beneficial, and I like to think that I think now I've broken bread with anyone that I'd done wrong by over the years, and some of them I'm even quite friendly with afterwards. And people that had bullied me in the younger years I'm quite friendly with now too. So it's just sometimes you can come full circle.
Yeah. Whereas I'm not that way. I don't speak to anybody that used to bully me. They've friended me on Facebook, and it's okay. It's like, all right, okay. So it bullied me all the way through high school. Now you want to be friends with me? No, you're all right. Go away.
Yes.
I think there's a worse one, right? And there's a meme on Facebook about it. Ignored me all through high school, but then want me to like your body shop page on Facebook. No thanks.
Yeah, I think I'm cut slightly from a different cloth, I suppose, from all the work I've done. That I'm always big on not condemning someone for who they were at a mental stage when they're not capable of making sound decisions. I look at my son now, who'll be 17 in a month's time, and he makes probably just as equally horrendous decisions as I did at that age. And I'd hate to be condemned at this age now for what I was like then, because it'd be very horrible.
No, I'm not at that stage where I could forgive them.
Yeah, some people don't change too. Like some of the people that you found were bullies in high school have managed to work their way into remaining like that and getting jobs where they can bully staff or become tradesmen where they can bully an apprentice. There's, some people are tarred with that, but there's so much we can do. I love that. Yeah, Lillian said this is why we build inner wealth in children with the nurtured heart approach, and it's so true because when you know these tools, like I'm kind of sad that I'm doing Lillian's course now when my kids are getting so much older, but then I'm also of the massive belief that it's never too late. It's never too late to make profound change. And a bit like my coaching, like it's a shame that I got into this coaching space and became a better version of myself when Casey was already an adult, Dylan was approaching there, Andrew's almost there. I would have loved to have given the kids this version of me when they were little, but I don't have a time machine. I haven't found how to make the DeLorean from Back to the Future come into my reality yet. So I think it's just a matter of, from this day forward, presenting the best version of me every day. And that, I think that's a big step away from the bullying side and the poor parenting techniques.
It's all right, because when you become a granddad, if you become a granddad in the future,
oh God, it won't be far off, I tell you.
Think of all this that you've learned to help your grandchildren.
Oh, I know. I'm going to love that. I'm going to be totally in my absolute dream space as a granddad. I'm going to be loving life. I might even keep coaching junior sports just so I can be a netball and football and basketball coach for grandkids. Be like old 60-year-old Steve still shouting from the sidelines, ready to rock.
Exactly. Teaching your little granddaughter or your little grandson how to play netball one day.
Oh, it'd be awesome. I'd love it. That'd be so cool. I could definitely do that. And I missed Adam's question too, asking both of us, what does being part of the Mental Health Warriors taught you with yourself?
Who's going first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. Being part of the Mental Health Warriors has taught me how strong I am as a person. Before I became the Mental Health Warriors wife to start with, and then obviously the Warrior Queen, I would have never sat in front of a camera and spoken about my experience being bullied and the fact that I now turned my life around. I don't think I would have turned my life around anyway. But it's definitely helped me find my confidence, find who I am as a person, and be more happy with my life. And now that I'm speaking to all these people around the world, I sort of can fathom out things about me that I didn't know. And it's made me think, well, I might be sort of this way, you know. But it's definitely helped me as a person to grow.
Beautiful. And growth is everything. Yep. That is so good.
Go on, what about you, Steve?
Sorry?
What about you?
Oh, for me, I think it's just coming to a space where I belong. I know I've touched on this in the past, but I steered clear of doing mental health work just off the back of my own depression and issues that I'd had over the years that I didn't want to talk about it, discuss it, bring things up. And yeah, once I had that realization that, that's crap. I do want to talk about this. I feel that I've got something to offer in this space, and I've got a lot of insight. And so for me, it's been a massively fulfilling experience, having this opportunity. Because I'm so shy. I battle being on camera. I have trouble talking to a live audience. I'm so scared. So that's bringing me out of my shell. And and I think, and also that the other warriors, like, there's so much to learn in this space from each other, and having a group where we can connect, chatting each day, and see so many different viewpoints and people with so many different skills. It's a really beautiful space, and I think that we're certainly, the proof's in the pudding. I think we are making a difference, and it's totally onwards and upwards. This is like, it feels like we're still at base camp. We're barely starting the climb of Everest. There's so much to achieve as a unit moving forward, and I think we're gonna make some fundamental change, and I'm just stoked to be a part of it. Absolutely stoked.
Yeah, and obviously one thing about the Warriors is when we're having one of those down days, feeling a bit rubbish, you can just post a message into the group and the whole group will just jump on and say, look, you don't need to feel like this, and throw lots of love at you, and you instantly start to smile and feel better, and you think, I've got this brilliant team around me that are not just a team around me, they're our friends as well. We're like a dysfunctional little family, as Adam says.
Yes, definitely. Spot on. And I think, and even on top of that, just our shows are a great space. If we're feeling flat or down, I think getting on camera and having a conversation, it just makes that pale into the background, and you get the opportunity to talk about things more important, and your troubles just seem to melt away. So I think it's just a great space on so many different levels.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been many times where I've been feeling rubbish and I know I've got a show that day, and I'm like, do I really want to do this show? Can't be bothered. But then I put myself in front of the camera and I'm like, I can do this. I have to do this. It's going to make me feel better. And I enjoyed myself. And the problem that I had, it's just non-existent by the time the show's finished.
Yeah, that's it. It's amazing, isn't it? Like, it's just a beautiful space. And I think because we all do care so much, that when we have a guest on, we're immersed in the conversation. So yeah, you can't concentrate on two things at once. You can't be listening intently and caring about what someone's saying, and then in the back of your mind going, oh no, I'm still can't be bothered. Today was crap. No good. Yeah. You just can't do it. If you care enough, then it just changes everything.
Yeah, I mean, the other day I had one with Guy Brolando, and it hadn't been the best of starts to the day, but then I knew that this guy was coming on, and I knew that he had a military background, and because Adam said he used to be a pilot. I'm like, well, he used to be a pilot. I like planes, so I'm going to latch onto that and try and get the conversation going, cheer myself up, because he's probably got some brilliant stories. And it turned out that he did. He had some amazing stories to tell. And he was an amazing guest, and it was an amazing show. And I could sit there and literally talk to him for hours, but Adam limits us to an hour on here, so.
He's a tyrant. No.
Oh, if we go over that hour mark, you don't half hear it off Adam. He's like, you're supposed to stick to an hour, you know.
Rules with an iron fist.
Oh.
Look at that. I presume that's him giving me grief there too. Can Steve run with a netball?
That probably is Adam.
Yeah, it would be. And no, Adam, clearly you don't have an understanding of netball rules like I do. You cannot run with a netball. I can run like a demon when I don't have the ball, but not with the netball.
No, with the netball, you sort of got to dribble, haven't you? And take.
Not allowed to dribble at all. You got 2 steps and you got to pass. That's it.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah. So, but I can.
I'm not up with the rules.
I do run like a maniac at training with the girls. Quite often I'll throw myself in there. That's my bit of cardio for the week, that hour of training. It's great fun. I love it. And it's funny, speaking of bullying, I like to think that I bring a lot of the anti-bullying message through team sports as well, and teach them about teamwork and respect for opposition and umpiring officials and things like that, because I think it's, especially I've found with teenage girls, they're not all going to get along. They're not all going to be friends in a team, but trying to teach them to respect each other and understand that they all have a place and a purpose in a team environment. And if they work together as a team, it goes so far. And I found like a lot of them that weren't friends at the start of the season are becoming quite friendly just through embracing that role in a team environment.
Which, you know what, is amazing, because obviously that is teaching them that, you might not get along, but when you're together on that team, you're all there for one purpose, to be in that team, to work together as a team. You have mutual respect for each other, and if you work together enough and work hard, you can have the win.
Yeah, and it's crucial. And the win doesn't even have to come from the scoreboard. Just setting those little goals week by week and working together. And because the one thing I did have to work on with them is, like, there seems to be quite a bit of team versus team bullying going on that I've noticed. Once they've sort of hit the under-15s level, there can be quite a bit of niggle between opposition players. And I've banned any complaints at quarter time and half time and 3/4 time breaks where no one's allowed to come off and bag anyone from the opposition. I'm just like, nope. As soon as you're putting your focus on them, your focus is off us, what we're doing and where our goal is. So I think that's also a good technique to sort of eliminate that negative talk towards someone else as well, is when you force the focus back onto the job at hand and what you're trying to achieve, it sort of helps draw away from the negative thoughts and can keep people a bit more grounded on what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I think you get that team bullying in pretty much any sports. I mean, fans of different teams will always bully each other. So obviously I'm a Liverpool fan, you're a Man United fan, and we have regular banter about that away from this camera, don't we?
Yeah, constant. We don't have to with Adam because Bolton's kind of rubbish, so we don't really have to get into any niggle and banter there.
Yeah, but Bolton's just not on our level yet.
Nah, they're like the under 11s coming up against the big boys.
Oh no! Well, he was saying to me, Adam was saying to me the other day, because the current team played a bunch of legends, and he was bragging about the fact that the current team beat the legends. I'm like, you do realise these legends haven't played football for like 5 years.
Yeah,
none of them are at the peak anymore, and you're bragging about it.
Well into their 40s and 50s. It'd be like being excited from beating me. It's like I'm not at my peak now.
Exactly. Well, you can't throw a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds together and then get a bunch of 20-year-olds to beat them and then brag about it. you've beaten somebody that's like double your age and not in their peak anymore. It's not bragging thing. And it was a charity match as well. You don't brag about winning a charity match.
No, the charity's the winner.
It's not like you've won anything.
No, as long as there's money being donated for a good cause, that's the victor in the whole scenario. There's
You're there to have fun and raise some money for whatever charity you're doing it for. And that one I think was MND, and the manager of Bolton gave the ball to I think a little boy in a wheelchair. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. Which I thought was brilliant.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's heartwarming stories. Like that's a good thing that show you the opposite side of bullying, isn't it? Is having that much compassion and care for your fellow human, that you can see when someone's doing it tough that you want to give them that little highlight for their day, their week, their year, their life. Like that, that could be the best thing that little fella ever puts his hand on for the rest of his days. And to be able to sort of put yourself in that situation, it's really heartwarming and a totally different approach to going, oh, well, nah, bugger you. I've got the ball in my hands. I'm keeping it. This is something I can have on my trophy cabinet. It's like...
Yeah, and I think it's amazing how big, high-profile celebrities can do things like that. I mean, there was one of the England players, I forget who it was now, and he gave his shirt to a little girl in the crowd, and her dad was videoing it, and she broke down in tears because he'd come straight to her and handed it to her and gave her a hug. And it was like, that is so heartwarming and so genuinely brilliant. You know, the guy deserves a medal for actually highlighting the fact that kids, that's the next generation, inspiring the next generation and teaching the next generation that to have that mutual respect for each other.
100%. And I think it is a sign of maturity as well. Once you sort of move to that point of looking beyond yourself and more as a greater wide humanity, then it's very easy to lose any thoughts of bullying, because if you're heart-centered and you're looking for the best in things and people and you want to make a difference, bullying's probably not a realistic possibility for you. So I think it's a lot about, if you want to sort of, if anyone's watching and they feel like they still have some bullying tendencies, look inside yourself and do everything from a heart-centered approach and look for the best in what you're doing for yourself, for other people, especially yourself. If you know that you're doing the right things by you, then you're more inclined to do right by others. And I think that's a really important space to come from, come from your heart and not your head. Because I think all bullies are always in their head thinking about how they can hurt someone else.
Yeah. One of the things we teach our kids, we get a glass and we say, right, say some horrible things to this glass. So they'll say horrible things that they've heard from maybe school or just out and about when they did go to school. And then we'll let the glass fall and smash on the floor. Say, right, now say sorry. Is that glass now fixed? No, it's not. So if you did that to a person, all those horrible things that you've said to them is going to break them inside. Saying sorry doesn't fix it. No, because that person is then still hurt inside and broken inside, and you don't know how far those words are going to take that person. Because unfortunately, this is the bad side of bullying, is the fact that when a person is being bullied that much, they can get to the mindset where they really don't want to face life anymore and unfortunately take their own life. And that's what we want to prevent. We don't want people getting to that point where they want to end their lives. We want to end bullying by doing this, by creating these awareness weeks, even though anti-bullying should be all the time, not just a week. You know, we want to create it where we create the next generation where they don't bully each other and they're like, you know, yeah, all right, you're not the same shape as me, the same height as me, or they got the same hair colour as me, but that's okay because you're special in your own way. You know?
That's an important point. Everyone's got their own unique, extremely special qualities, and we're all totally perfectly whole as we are. And it's just a matter of a bit of understanding and acceptance of not everyone's the same. And thank God, because it'd be really, really boring if everyone I saw was 44, going bald, got a bit of a beard going on, liked all the same stuff. It'd be pretty damn boring. And
Exactly.
I'd get over it within a couple. I'd probably bully myself. I'd be like, no, I'm over this. This is just all the same. Where I think being open and having an appreciation of what everybody else has to offer really, really changes the landscape, and it gives you such a different perspective on things, and you can really come out of yourself. Because I think the same with, I think a lot of bullies are going through the same inner emotional turmoil as the people they're bullying. I think there's a lot of pain and suffering inside that no one's helping them work on.
Yeah.
And they're staying stuck in that rut and routine of only knowing this one way. And no one's sort of putting their arm around them and saying, hey, that's not right, but there's something that you need some help with as well. How about we open up and have a conversation about what can be done to help you?
Yeah.
Because I think, a lot of the time it's easy for us just to attack a bully without looking deeper down as to what's created that behaviour in them at the moment. Because I think when I say that people aren't their behaviours, what I suppose I mean by that is, if a bully's just standing there savagely attacking someone using horrendous words, when I say they're not their behaviours, it's because that's not what they do all the time. That's not what they do to every person in every conversation they have. So it means it's a triggering point in interaction at that particular time. It's not exactly who they are deep down as a person. They could be just as broken. They may have had seriously extensive bullying done to them, and this is their way of reacting and coping with it. They may have suffered some form of abuse. They may, be suffering inferiority complexes, jealousy. There's so much things behind it. And I think when we sort of look at it as a whole encompassing a cumulative approach where everybody needs love, I think that's where we can really stop bullying in its tracks. And because I think if you punish a bully and you just have a go at them, a lot of the time that turns into bullying. You're just bullying the bully. Whereas I think when coming back to the heart-centered approach again, if everything's treated with love, then you can probably find out what's causing them to have these behaviours in the moment, and maybe do a bit of work that stops it.
Yeah, I mean, in the last few days, obviously with it being anti-bullying week, there's been articles put out that across the schools in the area that I'm in, there's been, I think it was something like 150 odd people that have been excluded either temporarily or permanently from school because of bullying. I don't think kicking the bully out of school for a few days is the way to handle things. I mean, maybe kick them out of school for 24 hours just to help the victim feel a bit more safer. But then maybe pull them back in and give them some counselling. Try and understand why it is that they're bullying other people. Maybe there is something that's going on with them at home. Maybe their parent or an auntie or an uncle or an older sibling is bullying them at home, so they're coming into school and lashing out at the only people they can lash out because they're too scared to lash out at home. You know, but until you have those conversations, you don't know why the bully is doing what they're doing. So I think that's maybe the way forward, is to bring more counsellors into schools and speak to them. Or even just NLP practitioners like yourself can go in and speak to people as a group and put some NLP practices into place.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an option.
There's a lot you can do to reconfigure the mindset around why we do things. And it's interesting. Yeah, Sandy's just said, isn't it, if you've been bullied, you know how it feels, then you know you shouldn't bully people. And to a certain extent, yes. But then sometimes
that's not always the case.
No, for some people, the bullying's built up such an inner pain that the only way they feel to release that pain is to inflict it on someone else. And I guarantee they do know it's wrong and they do know it hurts. And a lot of the time, I think I don't know a percentage, I'd be just guessing, but I think quite a lot of bullies do feel bad while, or maybe not whilst, they're inflicting that behaviour, but shortly after, I think a lot of bullies feel pretty horrible about what they've just done. But it's a coping mechanism, and they're just using what they have at their disposal. They're just running a pattern and a script that seems to be what they feel is working for them, whether it is or not. They're just running that pattern, and it can end up being just a repetitive pattern, and it's a loop that they get caught up in. And so, unfortunately, you do know what it's like to be on one side, and you shouldn't dish it out. But unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, sometimes it. Touching on mindset here, the bullies don't have that mindset that bullying is wrong, that they shouldn't do it. They just feel like it's all getting built up inside of them, and that's their way of venting that anger is by bullying somebody else. So they're pushing that pain onto somebody else because that's the only physical way they know how to deal with it. Whereas if they had NLP training or counselling, they'd be able to vent that anger into something more positive. So maybe art or anything like that.
Yeah, there's so many avenues to take out that anger and frustration that doesn't involve a verbal or physical attack on another person. There's so many avenues, and a lot of it is being prepared to sit down with them and just ask questions and let them speak freely without saying, well, that's rubbish, you're just a turd for doing that. Just letting them speak and letting them find their own path. You don't even have to really tell them anything, because they'll find the answers themselves if you're being nice enough to listen to them and let them openly speak about what's leading them down this path. They'll find their own answers. But most people don't do that. Normally it's, no, you've done wrong, you're bad, you must be punished. Yeah. And we always go to that punishing, lecturing route rather than bringing it back to, what can you tell us? What do I need to know about you that's making you feel this is warranted behaviour or required for you to get through your day? Because a lot of the time that's all it takes, is just letting someone totally unleash their problems onto you and go through things step by step and can make some pretty big changes pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's even other ways. There is lots of different ways that you can vent that anger. You can get a punch bag, for instance, and vent your anger into the punch bag, because then you can kick and punch as much as you want into that punch bag, because it's an object, it's not going to feel anything. You can call it whatever you want, kick it, punch it, get angry with it. Just vent all your anger into that, because then you can walk away feeling like you vented your anger, but you've not hurt anybody else doing it. Or you might hurt your hand because you're punching it that hard, but you're not hurting anybody else in the process, and you've vented that anger in a positive way. Then you can go off and do something else positive.
Yeah, and there's a lot of benefits to that. I'll put my hand up. I've got a punching bag hanging up under the house, and it's a great tool because it does any pent up aggression or anger, it's out. You're also getting a cardio workout. Yeah. You're getting the endorphins flowing, like you're getting the energy bursts. Like it has. So you're doing it for one purpose, and it gives you 3 benefits, 4 benefits, 5 benefits. So when you find something that's worthwhile putting your energy towards and your focus on, you'll find that it gives you so much more than anything else, than what it would do just to throw some harsh words at somebody.
Yeah, and obviously that's kicking and punching. If you were ever in a situation where you had to defend yourself, you've got a little bit of techniques then to know how to defend yourself.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's also a self-defense thing as well. So
yeah, I love it. And Sandy used to love throwing the balls into objects in the arcade games in the past. Yeah, I used to love that too. And the carnival where you could throw the big ball at the metal milk bottles and stuff. And you get older, you don't get to do those things so much. Yeah. Although we probably should.
There's that arcade game as well where you get the big hammer and you have to hit that metal disc. And it's like, right, okay, pretend that metal disc is someone you really, really hate and whack it. vent some anger out, but you're doing it in a fun way, because as soon as that bell thing hits the top, you get a prize.
See how good's that? You walk out with a big stuffed toy. Everyone's a winner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Vent a little bit of anger. Get a stuffed toy in the process. Why not?
There are so many examples of things you can do that will just change your perspective of where your energy is flowing, and make sure that you're just not inflicting it on other people. Sandy's gone, it's heavy, lol. Yeah.
I noticed though, right, that when you go along to these, we call them fairs in the UK, that sometimes girls get the blokes to do it and the blokes don't do it, but the girls then step up and do better than the blokes.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the time the blokes have been drinking, not on their A game. They're not ready to perform.
Well, they've got performance anxiety because they're doing it in front of their girlfriend. It's like, if I mess up now, I'm not going to get her a teddy. I'm going to make her look stupid, and then they actually perform wrong. And it's like, move out the way. The girl's going to do it, and the girl's going to get a teddy. I got this, not you, weakling.
They're serious.
And then you have that little bit of banter in the relationship.
There's a lot of pressure to perform when you are the man trying to win the toy for your lady, because not only is she watching with expectation, the other blokes with their girlfriends are watching going, if this guy nails it and then I don't, then I'm going to get picked on. The wife's going to hate me. And then you got the other girls watching, ready to attack their boyfriend if he can do it and they can't. Like, it's a horrible place to be as a man. You can't win sometimes.
Well, technically, there is only one way of actually winning. It's called the Adams technique. Go into a shop and buy in a teddy.
Yeah. That's cheating.
Instead of winning one, buys one.
That's just cheating. You've got to at least step up to the plate in life and have a crack. If you don't win, you learn. If it doesn't go your way, you learn for next time. You adapt. You adjust a few things. Can't go the cheats way out and just buy it. That's just not right. Unacceptable, Adam. Step up the game, son.
No. He bought teddies for me throughout our relationship, and now he's doing it for his daughter. So
yeah, carry on the legacy. I love it.
Yeah. No wonder Tegan's got loads of teddies on her bed.
Yeah. Adam thinks he never wins. I find that hard to believe.
He does win. He won me.
See? What greater prize could you want?
Exactly.
Sometimes you just got to sit back and appreciate the great things in your life.
Exactly. He won me by being himself. He wasn't in a competition with anybody else, but he won me, and now I'm his wife, and he's got 2 beautiful kids from me.
See? That's winning.
He's winning in life.
Yeah, that's winning. That's all you need. You don't need any more than that. I think sometimes, which is another thing that can lead to bullying, I think a lot of the times we don't have the gratitude for what we've got and the appreciation. And it's always like comparing and looking at other people and, they've got it all. They don't. Everyone's got what they want you to see they've got.
Yeah.
They don't show you the debts hanging over it and all the other horrible things behind it. I think once you understand, like all of us here, everyone watching, we're in like the top 5% of people in the world for how we live.
Yeah.
We're in a house. We have clean water. We have food. We have electricity. We have gas. Like we are so fortunate. And I think coming from a space of gratitude is another good anti-bullying technique. Because if you're always thankful and grateful, then you don't have any reason to want to inflict anything on anybody else.
Yeah.
I think that's just the easiest way to go, is to be purely and unadulterated gratitude for everything. And not just good, gratitude for bad. Things that have gone wrong, grateful for the lesson.
Exactly. If somebody says, you're worthless, nobody loves you, and you can say, hang on a minute, you might be right, I'm worthless, but people do love me. I've got family, I've got friends around me that love me for me. So, I might not be a millionaire or a billionaire, But I'm grateful for the fact that I've got family and friends around me. That's me being rich in my own way. I mean, if you look at it, like, if you've got a roof over your head, a comfy bed to sleep on with a quilt, and you're warm at night times, you've got access to food and electric and fresh running water and clean clothes every day, you're rich. Because there's people out there who, for whatever reason, don't have them things and would give up everything to have what you've got. So be grateful for what you've got, and then nobody can bully you, because you can say, no, I might not have lots of things, but what I have got, I'm grateful for what I've got.
Yeah. I've got everything I need, and I've got exactly what I'm supposed to have at this point in time.
Yeah.
And I love it. I appreciate it. Everything I need comes from in here. I'm full of everything. My cup's overflowing. There's nothing else I need in my life. And I couldn't be more happy with that. It's just brilliant. Beautiful.
The only thing I need right now is I need another coffee to wake myself up. But I've got a kitchen and a kettle. I'm fine.
Oh, that's not bad. I mean, I'm lucky that we've only got a few minutes to go, because I've been smashing out the waters and I'm going to have to wee shortly.
Yeah. No, well, we have got a little bit of housekeeping. Adam did comment.
We've got Abigail coming up tomorrow, don't we?
Yes. Music as medicine.
What time is that?
I don't know. Check the comments. We've also got Warriors of Attraction tomorrow with me, Adam, and Anthea. And we've got a special guest, Caroline Bennis.
Whoa, the Rainbow Warrior. That'll be sensational.
Yep. So Adam's going to be on his own with 3 girls tomorrow night.
Oh, God, he'll be complaining about that to me for the next 24 hours, no doubt.
Yeah, he's going to be like, Steve, wish me luck. I've got 3 women.
I know. He always says it to me like I'm going to go, oh, that's horrible, you poor thing. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's great. I'd love it.
Yeah, exactly.
No sympathy from me when he's stuck with the ladies. I reckon it's a great thing. Oh, and it's great to see, Chucka Perkins is tuned in and saying, I'd love to be a guest. Mental health is a very important topic. That is awesome. And I can see, you've already seen a comment there saying, shoot us a message, and we'll get you on a show somewhere, see who you resonate with, and we'll get you out here, because we agree. It's a very important topic, and we love having conversations with people that want to talk about it. So we'd certainly love to have you on board with us and get your story out there.
Yeah. We might be able to slot you in December, or it could get January now, because we are getting quite full as in the run up to Christmas.
Which is just around the corner.
Yeah. So a little funny thing that me and Adam say, the Mental Health Warrior is now taking bookings for January 2022.
Yeah, well, it's like that, isn't it? I mean, I know, I don't have any Wednesdays left, and your mum suffered from mental health. Yeah, so you would have seen it firsthand, and have a good understanding of the importance of really embracing and taking care of loved ones when they are going through struggles, because it's super important. And I'm sure your mum's super appreciative of everything that you've done along the way as well, because it's all about love, support, care, and looking out for people, because that's what we're all here for. And when you're here for others more than yourself, your life's going to be pretty fruitful no matter what. And everything's going to come back to you, because it's just the way it is. We're talking law of attraction there. Whatever you want, give it abundantly and happily and gleefully, without expectation of anything in return, and it's going to come. And it's going to come like a tsunami, and it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Yeah. As long as you keep putting those positive vibes out into the world, positive vibes will come back to you.
It's just how it works. It's a great thing. Well, that's just about it for us, Kerry. Thanks so much for joining me and celebrating day 2 of birthday week. I love it. And as always, massive appreciation for everyone that's tuned in and watched us, and all your fantastic comments. We know you're the lifeblood of the show, and it lights me up to see all you amazing people in here, and you're sharing some beautiful stuff. And it just really lights
And
me up.
as a last little point, I'm going to put a little bit of a spoiler out there. We've got a special treat lined up for our viewers. Come Friday morning, watch this space.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know a bit about that too. I won't let anything on.
Oh, just watch this space. We've got a special treat lined up for Friday morning.
Can't wait. So once again, Kerry, thank you so much. Everyone that's tuning in, it's been great. And anyone that watches on the replay, much appreciation and thank you to do as well. Everybody have an amazing day, night, afternoon, week ahead. And I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.